Satan wants no part of these videos. Like children. Let's talk about it. Jesus, coffee. That's 3 mornings this week that I've had technology issues off of the start. Satan. So, let's talk about being like children. There's a verse I want to go into in it's Ephesians 5, but we'll go into it. It's Ephesians 5, verse 1. But really what I want to talk about is children are pliable. Children are flexible. Children are adaptable. What's a game that we like to play as children? What do we like to do as children? We like to imitate, right? We like to make fun. We like to imitate our parents. We like to imitate, little boys like to imitate their dads. They like to put on tool belts and carry tools, and they like to imitate their dad, right? Little girls follow mom around the kitchen, not being sexist, just follow mom around the kitchen, or little boys follow mom around the kitchen and help mom cook and imitate mom, right? Because imitation is the highest form of flattery. So when you're imitating somebody, it means you want to be like them. Okay? Well, children aren't hardened in what they do. They're pliable in their world. They adapt. They continue to strive to be what they long to be. Right? They study, they're flexible so they can be molded and be who they want to be. Like I said, they imitate their parents. Little boys pick up tools and want to help dad when dad's working on a project. Little girls want to help mom in the kitchen, when mom's in the kitchen baking or doing something. We imitate, right? We want to be like our parents. So I want to read in Ephesians 5:1. This is all about walking in love. What Paul's talking about to the church is walking in love. He said, therefore, be imitators of God as dear children. Right? Be imitators as children are imitators. So, isn't Paul telling us all to be imitators? Right? So, when we're adults, we think we're hardened and we think we're done being molded. And we think we're done being, we are who we are going to be. Right? We are who God made us to be. No. Guys, it's naivety and immaturity in our walk. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I had to learn to be pliable, learn to roll, and learn to adapt, and learn to see. And when we're sensitive to the Spirit, we can learn to look around and see what's going on, and we can learn to be aware to moments. Look at pottery, right? Pottery, you're on the potter's, he's putting a lump of clay on the potter's wheel, and the potter's forming it and continuing to form it until it gets to what it wants to be. What God does with us, he actually talks about breaking us down and forming us on the potter's wheel. Getting us, and there's an imperfection, breaks us down again, puts us back on the potter's wheel and starts again. Continues to do that until we mold to be what he wants us to be. But along the way, there's brokenness, right? We're broken. So broken things are beautiful. They're mosaics, right? What's a mosaic? Mosaic is a bunch of broken glass. It's broken things, right? Molded together to form one thing. So on the potter's wheel, okay, that's what God calls us. He calls us, we are in the potter's hands. We are instruments and clay in the potter's hands. He's always molding us on the potter's wheel. just like children. Children are moldable, right? We, as Paul tells us right there, therefore be imitators of God. Not be imitator of Joe, Dave, Susie, Billy. No, be imitators of God as dear children. So just like children imitate mom and dad, we should imitate God. How do we imitate God? What does that look like? How do we imitate God? Because He's sovereign, He's in control. That's not us. We're not sovereign. We're not in control. No. What he's talking about there is be Christ-like. Be loving. Be Christ-like. You know, share a quick story. So, my friend Dave asked me to bowl last night. I'm a rostered sub on his team on Thursday nights. So he texted me yesterday and says, "Hey Jim, can you bowl tonight?" I said, "Sure, no problem. Awesome. I'll be there." So we're bowling next to a young man who misses a few shots and throwing a temper tantrum, kick the ball return, kick some chairs. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, wow, I see. I'm looking at him, but when I'm looking at him, and beautiful, beautiful young soul, good kid, 26 years old, good kid. I'm looking at him and God's dropping a mirror in my face and goes, "How's that look? See what you used to look like? See what you looked like?" Yeah, I see, Lord. I see. God showed me what I looked like. But here's the thing. Nobody came alongside of me lovingly. So what did God give me the opportunity to do last night and nudge me to do last night? Go lovingly get alongside this kid and sit and talk to him and tell him, look, this is a fun game. We're here to have fun. We're not bowling for $1 million. It's fun. Have fun with it. All the things that I didn't do when I was a kid. Nobody came to me, or maybe they did. I didn't listen. I didn't want to hear it. And what broke my heart last night was when a gentleman came up to me and saw what I was doing, saw that I was, loving on this young kid, just being there and being encouraging and he looks at me and says, "It's a lost cause." My heart broke in two right there. And I looked at him and said, without a breath in between him saying that, I looked at him and said, I'm glad Jesus didn't think I was a lost cause. Nobody's a lost cause. The criminal on the cross wasn't a lost cause. The woman at the well wasn't a lost cause. The adulterous woman that they wanted to stone wasn't a lost cause. You're not a lost cause. I'm not a lost cause. Why? Because we're made in His image. Somebody needs to come alongside of us. And God gave me the opportunity to share the gospel with this young man. And let him know Jesus loves him. Jesus is there. He sees him. Be imitators. Be Christ-like. What does that mean? Love on others like Jesus loved on others. The sinners. What did Jesus say? What did He tell the Pharisees when they said, "Why is your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" Jesus didn't let His apostle respond. Jesus responded. How did He respond to him? It's not the healthy that need a doctor, but the sick. It's not the healthy that need a doctor. It's not those that are all well put together, think they're self-righteous and perfect. It's the sinners. It's those that are broken. It's those that are hurting. What does Jesus say? "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Be imitators. Imitate Christ in all your actions. My favorite bracelet, WWJD. What would Jesus do? This was made by my friend Six, and I wear it all the time. What would Jesus do? If we live our life in that mindset, and I'll post a link. Six can make you a bracelet. Keep it on. Constant reminder. I keep this thing on me all the time. What would Jesus do? And in that moment, what would Jesus do? Jesus would tell him that he loves him and share the gospel with him. And let him know that I came to save the world. I came to save you. Be imitators. I love you guys. He loves you like crazy. He does. Really. Don't live your life apart from him. Don't live your life apart. Be in him. That young man needed somebody to come alongside of him, and it was a blessing to be able to be there. It's a good young kid. Really good young kid. Just beautiful heart inside of him. Just needs somebody to guide him. Be imitators, guys. We'll be back Monday with whatever Dad wants to talk about.